OnePlus has made its smartwatch debut with the OnePlus Watch, a watch that looks and feels premium at a not so premium price. So how does it deliver on its features? If the $160 price tag isn't enough to pique your interest, well then you add in blood oxygen monitoring, high heart rate alerts, a ridiculously long battery life, and all in a very pretty package to tie it all together. It almost seems too good to be true, and that's because in many ways it is. But hey, you can't expect them to get everything right on the very first try. First thing to note if you are interested in buying this watch is that it's only compatible with Android devices, although the company does say that iOS compatibility is going to roll out eventually. For the purposes of this review, I have paired it with my Galaxy S20 Ultra, which is broken because we do reuse the phones that we break. But I suspect that you'd have a better experience staying within the OnePlus ecosystem, meaning a OnePlus phone. At first glance, the OnePlus Watch bears a striking resemblance to the Galaxy Watch Active. A round watch face, AMOLED touchscreen, and stainless steel frame. But this one only comes in a 46mm option, which, as you can see, looks pretty overpowering on my wrist. And I didn't even think I had small wrists to begin with. So just something to keep in mind. Surprisingly enough, though, it wasn't too uncomfortable to wear, even at night. So that has to do with the slim form factor. Most of the navigation happens on the touchscreen itself, although it does have two side buttons for back and select. The watch bands are made of silicone and comfortable enough, but you can easily swap them out with others with a quick release. In terms of functionality, the OnePlus Watch does everything you'd expect a smartwatch to do in 2021. It's running its own OS, similar to Tizen's operating system, so it can display notifications, make and answer phone calls, and serve as a remote for both your phone camera and a OnePlus TV, which I don't happen to have. But you won't find NFC for payments. Now, in theory, it can play music, but you have to load it manually using the app, as it has no Spotify support or any third-party music apps for that matter. The watch also does your basic fitness tracking with over 110 different workout types to choose from. So in theory, you could also leave your phone behind on a run because it does have built-in GPS, but I haven't found it to be the most reliable. There were a few times where I took it out for a run and it didn't connect, and the distance was a bit off. I like that it breaks out your heart rate zones by intensity, so you can see how hard you were working during an exercise. But I did notice some important inconsistencies when it comes to heart rate. So I did compare it with a chest strap, and in the summary, my average heart rate and my peak heart rate were accurate within reason, but while I was on my run, it lagged considerably. So if you are looking for that minute-by-minute accuracy, this is not your watch. This also made me question other metrics on the watch. So this morning, for example, I got a high heart rate alert that my heart rate was above 120 beats per minute while I was laying in bed. And it freaked me out because I didn't feel anything. I strapped on the chest strap and it was totally normal. So it might have been a fluke. The watch is water resistant, meaning it's safe for swim tracking as well. And it goes beyond the basic fitness tracking. While this is not a medical device, it can measure SpO2 or blood oxygen levels both on demand and at night, as well as sleep tracking and detect stress levels. Now, all this data is great and impressive, but the stress levels, for example, I don't think matched my actual stress levels, which is kind of a flaw with the feature in general, especially with watches that rely on heart rate to determine stress levels. So we can pardon that part, but I also noticed it wasn't syncing my sleep data in the morning or the SpO2 data at night, even though I had enabled it on the actual app. And I was receiving my sleep summary on the watch in the morning. And this is part of a larger issue, which is syncing. At many points during my review, it just lost connection to the phone, even when it was just a couple of feet away. And during this period, I would stop receiving notifications and the data would stop syncing, which is a problem. Now, it is important to note that I am running a test version of the app, so this problem may be solved by the time you get the watch, but I had to note it anyway. The other big selling point about this watch is battery life. The company claims 2 weeks. For me, it's probably going to end up being more like a week because things start to add up quickly. So the SpO2 tracking at night, continuous heart rate monitoring, and even adding music to it do decrease battery life. But 1 week is still great considering the competition. You do sacrifice certain things though, like the always-on display and screen brightness, which is kind of hard to see in direct sunlight, and the raise to wake isn't as fast. But the watch also charges fast. You can get a full day of power from just 5 minutes on the charger, or wait 20 minutes for a full week's worth of charge. The OnePlus Watch seems to check all the boxes when it comes to battery life, price, and features, but it still has some issues to work out, which the company might, over time. Just know that you're not getting a finished product right out of the gate, and I still wouldn't use it as a fitness watch. But at that price point, it may not matter, especially if you have a OnePlus phone, because then you might not have the same compatibility issues that I did in my experience. You can also read my full review on CNET.com, as well as check out our other smartwatch reviews, and then also tell me what you think of the very first OnePlus watch on the comment section below. Till next time.